And we're getting word right now on a story that has been simmering for 2 years and just took another sharp turn. If you have been anywhere near the world of electric cars, you know the name Tesla. And for a while, one of the biggest promises the company ever made was pointed not at Texas, not at Berlin, not at Shanghai, but at northern Mexico. A gigafactory so large it was supposed to dwarf everything Tesla had ever built. Governors celebrated it. Suppliers packed their bags. An entire region rearranged itself around it. And then, quietly, the whole thing stopped. Nobody expected Tesla to put its Mexico Gigafactory on hold. But then this happened. Let's set the scene because the size of this promise is the whole story. On February 28, 2023, Mexico's president at the time, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, went public with the news. The next day, March 1st, 2023, Elon Musk confirmed it himself at Tesla's Investor Day. Tesla was coming to Nuevo León, to an area near Monterrey called Santa Catarina. And this was not a small bolt-on plant. The site itself was staggering. A footprint of nearly 4,200 acres, close to double the size of Giga Texas. Tesla talked about employing around 7,000 people directly, with tens of thousands more jobs rippling out through the supply chain. The figures that circulated ran from an initial $5 billion up toward $10 billion in direct Tesla investment, and as much as $15 billion once you counted the suppliers expected to cluster around it. The governor of Nuevo León, Samuel Garcia, called it the largest Tesla plant in the world, bigger, he said, than the one in Texas. And this factory wasn't meant to churn out just any Tesla. It was slated to build the company's next-generation vehicle, the long-promised affordable model, a car aimed at roughly $25,000, the one Musk had spent years insisting would finally put a Tesla within reach of ordinary buyers. The plant was designed to produce as many as 1 million cars a year, using a new, unboxed, assembly method Tesla claimed could shrink a factory's footprint and slash production costs. So this wasn't only a bet on Mexico. It was meant to be the physical home of Tesla's entire cheap car future. For a region that had spent years chasing foreign investment, this was the jackpot. Nuevo León had built its whole economic pitch around what people were calling nearshoring. The idea that companies would move factories closer to the United States instead of relying on Asia. And here was the most famous electric car company on the planet planting a flag right there. Permits moved fast. By September of 2023, environmental permits were approved, carrying a 26-month construction deadline. By late October, Tesla had obtained the permits it needed. The state started laying groundwork: water, electricity, gas, road connectors, even schools. Everything was pointed at one target: production starting in the first quarter of 2025. And here's where the story starts to bend, because that target came and went. Watch what happened to the timeline. First, it was mid-2024. Then it slipped to 2025. Then suppliers themselves were quietly talking about 2026, even 2027. A project that was supposed to be pouring concrete kept finding reasons to wait. And the reason it finally stalled outright had almost nothing to do with Mexico at all. To understand why, you have to look north at an American election. In July of 2024, on Tesla's own earnings call, Elon Musk said the quiet part out loud. The Mexico Gigafactory was on pause. His reasoning was blunt. Donald Trump, then campaigning to return to the White House, had pledged to slap heavy tariffs on cars built in Mexico. Trump talked about tariffs so steep, figures of 100% and higher were thrown around, that they could make a Mexican-built Tesla far too expensive to sell across the border. And Musk's logic followed directly. Why pour billions into a factory whose entire advantage was cheap access to the U.S. market, if that access might vanish overnight? As he put it, it didn't make sense to invest until the political picture cleared up. So Tesla waited for the election. If you're finding this story interesting, take a second to subscribe for more deep dives like this one. Now, back to what happened after that pause, because the election came and went and the factory still didn't move. Trump won. And instead of resolving the uncertainty, the result deepened it. Suddenly the question wasn't whether tariffs might come. It was how big they would be and when. Mexico's government, now watching one of its flagship investments hang in limbo, started asking directly where the Tesla plant had gone. The country's economy officials wanted answers, and the honest answer was uncomfortable. As of 2025, No meaningful construction had started on the site. The bulldozers everyone pictured never really arrived. What was supposed to be the largest Tesla factory in the world was, in practice, an empty stretch of permitted land and a very long list of promises. But here's the twist that a lot of people missed. Tariffs grabbed the headlines. They were the dramatic, made-for-TV reason. Underneath, though, the ground itself was working against the project in ways that had nothing to do with Washington. Consider the region Tesla had chosen. Nuevo Leon is in Mexico's arid north, and in recent years it has been battered by severe drought. The Cerro Prieto Dam, one of the area's key reservoirs, dropped to historically low levels. A gigafactory is not a light user of water. Battery and vehicle production is thirsty, industrial-scale work. Planting one of the world's largest plants in a place fighting over every drop was a tension that never fully went away. Then there's electricity. A factory this size needs enormous, absolutely reliable power. But northern Mexico's grid has been straining as industrial demand grows faster than the region can generate supply. Nuevo Leon saw rolling blackouts during the peak heat of recent summers. So even setting the politics aside, two of the most basic ingredients any megafactory depends on, steady water and steady power, were exactly the two things the chosen region was short on. The tariff threat may have been the trigger, but it landed on a project that already had cracks in its foundation. So who wins and who loses when a promise this big freezes in place? Start with Nuevo Leon. The state had gone all in. It built infrastructure ahead of a tenant that never moved in. It staked political capital on being the home of Tesla's crown jewel. Governor Samuel Garcia had made this investment a centerpiece of his agenda. And for a long stretch, he kept insisting the project was alive, that the state was ready to break ground the moment Tesla gave the green light. But readiness isn't the same as arrival. Local suppliers and small businesses that had positioned themselves around a factory full of thousands of workers were left holding plans for a customer that hadn't shown up. And Tesla, for its part, redirected. Instead of betting on Mexico, the company leaned harder into the factories it already controlled, pushing production in its next generation of products through its existing plants in the United States. From a purely cold business standpoint, waiting cost Tesla very little. It kept its options open, avoided sinking billions into an uncertain market, and let someone else absorb the risk. The party that had already spent on permits, on infrastructure, on expectations, was the region that had rolled out the welcome mat. That's the uncomfortable shape of a lot of these mega deals. The announcement is loud, global, and full of enormous numbers. The follow-through is quiet, slow, and easy to walk back. A factory can be announced by a president and a billionaire on a bright stage, celebrated as historic, and still, 2-3 years later, amount to permitted dirt and a pause button nobody wants to press. So where does that leave things right now? Officially, the project has never been canceled. Tesla hasn't said it's dead. Nuevo Leon hasn't given up hope. The land is there. The permits, at least on paper, exist. The state keeps signaling it's ready to go. But an indefinite pause has a way of hardening into something more permanent the longer it lasts. Every month without construction is another month the original 2025 target recedes into memory. Another month the water and power problems don't solve themselves. Another month the tariff picture stays cloudy. The factory that was supposed to be the biggest in the world is, for now, the biggest thing that isn't being built. And that's really the lesson buried in this whole saga. A headline can promise you the future. $15 billion, thousands of jobs, the largest plant on Earth. But a headline can't pour concrete. It can't fill a reservoir or stabilize a power grid or predict what a tariff will look like after an election. Between the announcement and the ribbon cutting lies a gap where politics, geography, and cold arithmetic all get a vote, and any one of them can bring the whole thing to a halt. Nobody expected Tesla to freeze a project it had celebrated so loudly. But when the tariffs loomed, when the water ran low, when the grid flickered, and when the math stopped adding up, the company did exactly that. The Gigafactory that was going to change northern Mexico is still, right now, waiting for a green light that hasn't come. And whether it ever does may depend far less on what happens in Monterey than on what happens hundreds of miles to the north.